But anyways, we have this video of Trevor Lawrence. We was talking about Trevor Lawrence yesterday and Jalen Hurts and shit like that. And I was saying how Trevor Lawrence I believe he could go into Philadelphia and do what Jalen Hurts did. But I told them that, like, I just feel like everybody is bad as fuck right now. Trevor Lawrence is not good. So far, he's had a terrible team. I won't call him a bust, but he has not nearly reached the potential I think that he should have had.
Called the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck, maybe even Peyton Manning.
Trevor Lawrence is the best prospect I've watched at the quarterback spot since Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck was my favorite prospect ever.
The golden arm, the long hair, the calm under pressure, a franchise savior.
You think he has what it takes to live up to that #1 pick hype?
I ain't gonna lie, I 1000% Trevor Lawrence was gonna be like the next Tom Brady or some shit. Just the first round, you know, not the next Tom Brady, but he went to a terrible team. So there's no way he's gonna be Tom Brady or the fucking Jags. But I definitely thought he was damn near gonna be like Josh Allen. I thought he was gonna be in that top 5 group. And it's a shame that he's not even top 10. It's a damn shame. Because this nigga out of high school, craziest fucking reputation ever.
4 years in, there's a lot of questions whether Trevor Lawrence is really who we thought he was.
Everything about it is so disastrous. Trevor Lawrence has not developed. He's not better than he was in college.
I think Trevor Lawrence is the most overrated quarterback in the NFL.
And the craziest thing is, when Trev was lacing up his cleats in high school and even at Clemson, words like buzz, overrated, or even trash would never be in the same sentence to describe Trevor Lawrence. Let's just say it has been a long 4 years at that.
I ain't gonna lie to you. That was one of the craziest hits I've ever seen in real time. Watching this nigga get laid out like that was some scary shit because I immediately thought of fucking Tua when he was throwing up gang signs and shit when he got hit. That's immediately what I thought of.
Sprains, bruises, as if the NFL keeps scoring scars. Each hit is a question mark hung above his helmet. So who is this man under the helmet now? The prodigy we claim to know, or someone we never fully understood? Is it the city, is it the team, or is it him? This is no ordinary journey. This is a Trevor Lawrence paradox. Are we witnessing a fallen superstar, or is he on the verge of a legendary comeback?
Hey, personally,
before he ever stepped under the Friday night lights,
I'm gonna be honest with you. Personally, I think this is the year that he becomes a top 10 QB. I'm gonna just say that. I feel like this is the year he becomes a top 10 QB. He has Brian Thomas Jr. He has Travis Hunter. I think Christian Kirk is still there. He has, I think it's Tank Bigsby at running back. I think Trevor Etienne is still there. But I don't know about the offensive line, but I definitely think that he has a lot of good pieces around him, at least on the offensive side of the ball, to put him as a top 10 QB. He just has to put the shit together. That's all. He just got to put that shit together.
College recruiters flew across the country just to watch him warm up. And before NFL teams whisper his name in war rooms, Trevor Lawrence was already a star in the making. It started in Cartersville, Georgia, a quiet, football-hungry town just outside of Atlanta. That's where a middle school kid, tall for his age, skinny with a buzz cut and a golden right arm, started making coaches and recruiters do double takes. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. At just 12 years old, Trevor was throwing tight spirals and reading coverages better than most varsity quarterbacks. He could hit 40-yard out routes like it was nothing. Standing at 6'1" and could already sling a tight spiral with ease was crazy to witness. It was as if he was built for this from day one, and folks took notice. There were even viral highlight videos floating around of preteen Trevor torturing defenses, feeding the chosen one whispers early. His mechanics were textbook, his footwork was clean, and his vision was scarily mature. Some say he looked like a high school senior, others say he looked like a quarterback engineered in a lab. By the time Trevor was finishing middle school, he had led his youth team to back-to-back state titles and even an 8th grade national championship with a Georgia All-Star squad. Mind you, he hadn't even played a down of high school ball yet. The local media were already featuring the hometown phenom, and Cartersville coaches were excited for their newcomer. When Trevor arrived as a freshman at Cartersville High, the team already had a solid starting QB, a senior named Miller Forrestall, but it didn't matter. One look at the kid's talent and everyone knew change was coming. In a matter of weeks,
I ain't gonna lie, bro, that gotta be one of the shittiest fucking feelings ever. You are a starting quarterback as a senior in high school. A freshman comes in and replaces you, bro. Is that not fucking insane?
The 14-year-old Trevor beat out the veteran for the starting spot, sending Miller to play tight end. Trevor's arm talent and poise had
I'd be mad as hell. Like, you changed my position. I get you want me to, like, I'm still starting. But you make me change positions for a fucking freshman. Don't get me wrong, I ain't gonna lie. If a nigga better, he just fucking better. But a freshman in high school taking your varsity spot is fucking insane.
Loud and clear. In his first season as a starter, he threw for over 3,000 yards and 26 touchdowns. Cartersville Friday night game suddenly became the hottest ticket in town. Thousands of people will pour in to watch the kid ball.
I ain't gonna lie, it used to be crazy as hell because like my brother, when he was playing at St. Rita, bro, this nigga would have 10. Mind you, St. Rita only held like 3,000-4,000 people. G. Not even that, 2,000. It used to damn near try to be, it used to be 10,000 motherfuckers that used to want to come and watch that game, them games. Especially the game where he got injured against Mount Carmel. Dog, it was so many fucking people there. You damn near had to get there like an hour and a half, 2 hours early. And then he got injured. But when I tell you, I've never seen that stadium so fucking packed. You got niggas on outside gates with fucking chairs and ladders standing over just to watch the fucking game, bro.
The fence is 3 deep just to get a glimpse. At 14 years old, he had already become more than just a hometown quarterback. He was a bona fide local celebrity. But it was his sophomore and junior years that turned the hype dial up to 11. He led Cartersville to back-to-back undefeated seasons, each capped with a state championship trophy. The team went on a crazy 41-game winning streak under his leadership, steamrolling opponents week after week. In Georgia, a state overflowing with football talent, nobody could touch Trevor Lawrence. By 16 years old, he wasn't just a promising.
Justin Fields? Weren't they both in Georgia? I don't think that's to say that nobody was touching Trevor Lawrence, but Justin Fields won the Elite 11. And I think on a couple of sites he was ranked higher. You feel me? I think he was ranked higher than Trevor Lawrence. Even though I think Trevor Lawrence had a perfect score though.
Recruiting analysts across the country already crowned him the #1 overall recruit in the class of 2018 before he even finished his sophomore season. College scholarship offers flooded in by the dozen, from SEC powerhouses to national names coast to coast. He had 15 offers midway through his sophomore year and climbing. Every coach wanted the golden boy from Cartersville. With his success came sky-high statistics and lofty comparisons. During his sophomore season alone, Trevor threw for 3,600 yards and 43 touchdowns.
This nigga had, oh my God, I wish my brother had a fucking squad like this, nigga. I wish my brother played at a fucking school with a quarterback like this, dog, that knew how to pass the ball. St. Rita didn't know what the fuck they was doing when it came to coaching, man, honestly. They didn't at all.
Turned it up even more the following year as a junior when he broke Deshaun Watson's Georgia State record for career passing yards and touchdowns with 3,900 yards and 51 touchdowns. Those numbers had recruiters and journalists struggling to find his.
But also, you have to have an insane, like, your receivers have to actually be good to do shit like this. As good of a quarterback as you can be, you have to have a good ass fucking receiving core. You're not doing this just with no receiver
comparison. People started throwing around big names, headlines calling him the next Peyton Manning, the perfect QB prospect, a quarterback seemingly built in the lab to play the position. And honestly, his tape matched that. The kid was 6'6" by then with a rocket arm, razor sharp mechanics, and sneaky athleticism to boot. One scout raved that Trevor was the easiest 5-star evaluation of his career. He had slapped a 5-star on Trevor by the end of his freshman year.
You've been a 5-star already. What do you think about that type of accolade at such a young age?
I think it's pretty cool. Definitely proves that hard work pays off.
But the buzz wasn't just about the numbers. It was about the aura, the way he carried himself, rarely celebrating too wildly, always focused on the next play. It was so infuriating to his opponents. Not only was this quarterback gifted like something out of a video game, he also was composed beyond his years. He looked like the face of an NFL franchise before he even had his driver's license. Then came the media mythology. Even before he committed to Clemson, Trevor was a household name in recruiting circles. Like I said before, he was ranked the #1 quarterback in America before he had even received most of his major college offers. His face started popping up everywhere in ESPN features, Elite 11 documentaries, and national recruiting shows. Cameras followed his.
Hey, put some fucking respect on Justin Fields' name, man. Don't be acting like Justin Fields wasn't giving him a go for his motherfucking money. Justin Fields is putting up fucking buckets.
Every move. YouTube highlight channels racked up millions of views on his junior year clips alone. Every pass he threw added more polish to the brand. And yes, by this point, Trevor Lawrence wasn't just a player, he was a brand. He left Cartersville with 13,902 passing yards and 161 touchdowns.
That's fucking
he dominated
insane.
nearly
I'm
every
not gonna
game,
lie, that
finishing
stat line
his high
is
school
insane
career
for high
with a
school.
jaw-dropping 52-2 record as a starter. His only 2 losses came in the playoffs, once as a freshman and a senior. Both narrow, both dramatic, and even in defeat, opposing coaches called him the best high school quarterback they'd ever seen. Bless Trinity's defensive coordinator, who beat him in the playoffs his senior year, said, "We could play them 10 times and we're probably not going to beat them again. I wouldn't ever want to play him again. He's just that good." And that was the paradox beginning to form. He was too polished, too perfect, too good, too...
I definitely think schools was paying these niggas. When you get these top 10 recruits, I think them top 10 recruits, even before NIL, I definitely think they was paying them
soon,
niggas.
Because when a kid is this hyped, when they're crowned the next great one before they even hit college, you're not just playing against other teams anymore. You're playing against a myth, against expectations, against perfection. And as he walked off his high school field for the final time, a 2-time state champion and a national record holder, the world wasn't just watching his next step. It was waiting to see if the myth could survive reality. Because now, the real test was coming, and college football wasn't just going to crown him just because ESPN did. After graduating high school,
I ain't gonna lie, watching this nigga in college was crazy. Cause you would have thought this nigga was gonna lead them to 3 straight national championships the way that this nigga was playing, dog. This was one of the most fun. This is one of the most fun motherfuckers I've ever seen play college football. Like, towards his junior year, it kind of like, he was already solidified as the #1 pick his freshman year when they won a natty. He was already solidified the #1 pick. As the years went on, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of got like more bland. It's kind of like voters fatigue when it comes to like LeBron or somebody else with the MVP. That's what it felt like for him when it was coming to the draft.
And getting a chance to go through spring ball with Clemson, the young freshman was looking legit early on. And once the season rolled around, Clemson's sideline was buzzing. The Tigers were undefeated,
Kelly
but
Bryant,
lacked the spark
bro.
of a champion. After 4 weeks, Coach Dabo Swinney made the gusty call, benching respected starter Kelly Bryant for a freshman. Some called it bold, others disrespectful, but in Clemson, they just called it a dynasty.
I wouldn't give a, I ain't gonna lie, that's one crazy thing to do to bench your senior year. He did the same shit he did in high school pretty much. To bench your senior quarterback for a true freshman and then this nigga goes and wins a natty, bro, that has to be one of the shittiest feelings in the fucking world. That has to be so shitty as a quarterback, bro. Because at that point, they're just like, damn, nigga, you couldn't do it. We had to get somebody else to do that shit.
Sliding up the scoreboard with effortless precision. Against Georgia Tech, he went 13 of 18 for 176 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. In a 49-21
Did this nigga Hunter Renfrow get 2
blowout,
championships?
Clemson was putting BTA to their opponents week in and week out. It wasn't just that Trevor was good. He made it look easy. After taking over the huddle, Clemson continued their streak and never lost a game that season. He led the Tigers straight into the college football playoffs, dismantling undefeated Notre Dame along the way. Waiting at the end was college football's king, Alabama, Nick Saban's Crimson Tide.
Don't give a pass about
nothing but the
What happened
Tide.
next? Nobody saw it coming. Trevor Lawrence, just 19, played like a pro, slicing Alabama's defense.
Hey, we gotta give it to these niggas on Clemson. They had a fucking squad, bro. A fucking squad. These niggas had T. Higgins, Hunter Renfrow, Justin Ross. I think it was Justin Ross. Justin Ross was supposed to be one of them niggas, bro. I swear to God, I thought he was gonna be like the top fucking receiver out of his class. I think he was a freshman at this time too. But Justin Ross was fucking like that. On top of that, y'all had Travis Etienne also.
He threw for 347 yards and 3 touchdowns, humiliating the Tide 44-16. The nation
Beat the
watched
fuck out of them, bro.
ESPN
They
declared
beat the
Trevor
shit
the
out of
best
them.
freshman quarterback in college football history, and Sports Illustrated crowned him king of college football. Even Dabo, usually cautious, boldly proclaimed, "He's the best we've ever had." But every crown cast its shadow, and soon questions arose because Trevor wasn't exactly playing with average college kids. This was Clemson, stacked with NFL-bound talent. Wide receivers like T. Higgins had 81 yards and a touchdown, and true freshman Justin Ross piled up 153 receiving yards in that Alabama game. Running back Travis Etienne was practically a cheat code, and his offensive line looked straight out of an NFL depth chart. His defense, one of the best ever assembled in college football. Critics whispered loudly, was Trevor really this good, or was Clemson just a factory?
Here's what I think. I think Trevor was the force that took Clemson over the hit, over that hump, simply because he was able to make the throws. He was able to make those reads. His decision making was great. Threw the ball, he was throwing that bitch where he needed to. When he was doing that, this nigga was doing what he needed to do. And that game against Ohio State, that shit showed me a lot of fucking dog in him. He had that fucking dog in him, bro, in college. I don't think nobody else got, man, that was the craziest freshman season I think I've ever seen, bro. Outside of maybe Johnny Manziel.
Producing championships. The line blurred between Lawrence evaluating Clemson and Clemson evaluating him. Then came the somewhat sophomore slump, if you could call it that. Lawrence was good, sometimes great, but cracks started to show. In the first 3 weeks of the season, he had already thrown 5 interceptions, after only having 4 on a year as a freshman. However, he did lead Clemson to another undefeated run, constantly putting up 250 plus yards and 3 touchdowns a game. But against LSU in the 2019 National Championship, Trevor...
I ain't gonna lie, this was just bad luck. Nigga, if anybody playing LSU, there was no chance. I don't care who you put up against LSU, there was no chance another team was winning, bro. That LSU team was so fucking nasty. I still think they're the greatest college football team of all time.
Faced a defense loaded with NFL talent and struggled badly. He completed just 18 of 37 passes, threw 0 touchdowns, and appeared rattled under relentless pressure. For the first time, he looked human, which was crazy to finally say. Critics pointed out to his shaky footwork, slower processing under blitzes, and occasional poor decision making. The chosen one suddenly seemed vulnerable.
The only reason I give this nigga any grace is because LSU was doing that to everybody they played. Whether it was Oklahoma, whether it was Alabama, Ole Miss, anybody them niggas was playing, they was putting belt to fucking ass, dog.
Junior year in 2020 brought more of the same, spectacular highlights mixed with puzzled mistakes. Trev balled at times in a shortened 2020 season, but again stumbled when it mattered most. Facing Ohio State in the college football playoff semifinals again against his hometown native Justin Fields, he put up big numbers, 400 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, but it came with costly mistakes, a crucial interception and hesitation against the Buckeyes' aggressive blitz. Clemson lost and missed out on a chance in a three-peat appearance in a national championship.
Hey, to be fair, hey, them niggas at Ohio State, bro, they was not fucking around. They got whooped by Alabama, but these niggas was not fucking around, dog. Shit was crazy. That was a nice ass game. I wanted Ohio State to win because of Justin Fields, but that nigga Justin Fields had some shit to prove.
However, the media still praised him relentlessly as a can't-miss NFL prospect, but whispers grew louder. Was he truly improving or just coasting on the glow of past glory? Yet, despite these setbacks, nothing dented his golden boy status. By spring of 2021, Trevor Lawrence remained the unanimous #1 overall pick for the upcoming NFL draft. ESPN, Bleacher Report, and NFL analysts continued singing his praises, labeling him the best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck or even Peyton Manning.
Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback
I'm not gonna lie, at the time, this wasn't far-fetched.
In just 3 years, Trevor did lead.
This was not far-fetched at the time being. You would have thought this nigga was Jesus Christ.
Similar to his high school career, with only 2 losses in the playoffs, with a 34-2 record. But both those losses lingered, both against defenses packed with NFL talent. As he declared for the draft, the paradox was clearer than ever. Was he truly the generational talent everyone proclaimed, or was he just the face of college football's most dominant machine? Soon, the NFL would reveal the hard truth behind the Trevor Lawrence paradox.
With the first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, Jacksonville Jaguars select Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, Clemson.
It was supposed to be easy. Trevor Lawrence, the golden boy, the can't-miss prodigy from Clemson, was taken #1 overall by the Jags in 2021, and the world was ready to witness greatness. But what unfolded was everything but that. His rookie season felt less like football and more like reality TV.
Man, you can't punish a nigga for the situation that them niggas that he was put in, dog. This is one of the worst situations I've ever seen in my life. You hire Urban Meyer, he shit the bed your freshman year. I don't know what the fuck people expect from him. It's like this nigga may as well been playing on a fucking youth football team against the NFL.
It took the rook a while to get adjusted to the program. In his very first game, he cooked somewhat with 332 yards and 3 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions also came along with that. Throughout the first 5 weeks, he threw 8 interceptions to only 6 touchdowns.
Damn.
And the Jags didn't get their first win until week 6. They ended the 2021 season just 3-14, finishing as the NFL's worst team.
Wide open
Trevor
interceptions. These were some
threw
terrible
a league-high
interceptions.
17 interceptions against 12 touchdowns, completing only 59.6%
These were some terrible
of his
interceptions
passes.
too.
But it really wasn't all his fault. Under Urban Meyer's chaotic control, Jacksonville was a dumpster fire, complete dysfunction from day one. Urban scandals, poor decision-making, and clashes with players dominated headlines, creating the worst possible environment for a rookie quarterback. ESPN bluntly described the Jaguars as a total disaster, highlighting the toxic culture around Lawrence's debut year.
But this was a disaster of a whole other level, right? I mean, we've seen a lot of bad decisions and bad moves and bad hires.
And chaos is no exaggeration. Meyer's short tenure was marked by drama and instability. He didn't even last a full season, fired after 13 games and countless embarrassments. Young Trevor was essentially a pilot flying a plane while it was on fire. As the rookie put it, the consistent losing was a reality check for sure, having never experienced anything like that in his high school and college days.
Just learned a lot. That's what I'm taking for this year. Obviously, the NFL is completely different from college as far as offenses. Like, just so many things that you learn that you can't learn unless you go through it. So,
despite the ugly stats and the franchise turmoil, the media was hesitant to pin the blame on a 22-year-old quarterback. Give him time. It's not his fault.
I personally wouldn't pin it on him. I just feel like you put anybody in this situation, you could put Tom Brady in this situation. I don't think he comes out really any better than fucking Trevor Lawrence did, because it simply just wasn't good enough, and his coaches and the organization just didn't give a fuck. That's what sucks. That's what really fucking sucks.
Fault became a common statement among analysts and fans. The Jags front office and GM preached patience, calling 2021 a learning experience for their young quarterback. Then enters Doug Peterson, the Super Bowl winning coach tasked with salvaging Trevor's career.
That's what the fuck it was, Doug Peterson.
Returned to Duval County. Lawrence improved dramatically. He passed for a little over 4,100 yards and 25 touchdowns to only 8 interceptions, with an 85.2 passer rating, guiding the Jaguars to a winning record in their first playoff berth since 2017. Trevor earned his first Pro Bowl nod, and Jacksonville fans finally had reasons to hope. During the regular season's final 9 weeks, Trevor was one of the best quarterbacks in the league, ranking second in completion rate and posting a 15-2 touchdown to interception split, while leading the Jags to a 7-2
I think Christian
finish.
Kirk is still
and
there.
In a wildcard round, he brought the Jags on a comeback for the ages against the Chargers. The game started as a nightmare. Trevor threw 4 interceptions in the first half, digging a 27-0
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'll be
playoff.
so surprised when, just because nowadays when quarterbacks play bad, they get benched instantly or they get gave up on instantly. I'm surprised he didn't get benched after this, bro. I'm surprised he didn't get benched after throwing 4 interceptions in the first half, because usually a lot of coaches are like, fuck it, we finna give up.
Debut as one could imagine. He became the first quarterback ever to throw 3 picks in the first quarter of a postseason game. Many young quarterbacks would have crumbled then and there.
That's fucking insane.
But showing incredible poise, he brushed off the mistakes and came out after halftime like a man on a mission. He proceeded to throw 4 touchdown passes in the second half. The Jags stormed all the way back to win 31-30, completing the 3rd largest comeback in NFL playoff history.
I was breaking not a good record in the first quarter, had a couple interceptions. We know we're always counted out of these games and we don't care. We love it. So just kept believing in one another.
And the craziest part about that night is bro went to Waffle House off all places for a post-game meal and to celebrate. It was the kind of performance that builds legends.
That's the type of shit I would do. Nigga, let's go to Waffle House. Nigga, let's get some good food.
He's becoming Andrew Luck. That's what I felt like watching that game. The kid who was supposed to be the next Andrew Luck is starting to look like Andrew.
Damn, I miss Andrew Luck. I miss Andrew Luck. Damn.
Luck.
By the time the Jags postseason run ended, which was to Kansas City the next week, the narrative around Lawrence had flipped. The media declared his arrival on the big stage. This was the player Jacksonville had been waiting for, the player that was promised in the 2021 draft. As one anonymous NFL coordinator put it, under Peterson, Trevor's mechanics improved, decision-making sharpened, and the natural talent shined through. Suddenly, the long-suffering Jaguars had hope and hype. But progress isn't always linear, and in 2023, he faced a harsh reality check. Expectations were sky high for year 3. Many thought Trevor would cement himself among the NFL's top tier. Instead, the season became a grind marked by inconsistency, regression under pressure, and eventually pain.
And he is in serious pain.
Trevor's decision-making took a step back. Too often he reverted to some rookie-like mistakes, especially in critical moments. The stats dipped across the board. He finished with 21 touchdowns and 14 interceptions, a noticeable decline from the efficiency of the year prior. His passer rating fell to 88.5, and those top 10 quarterback conversations quieted. The Jaguars as a team stumbled to an 8-9 record, losing their final 5 games and missing the playoffs, a bitter collapse to an 8-4 start. And you're probably wondering, what went wrong? A little bit of everything. Trevor showed inconsistent judgment, especially in the red zone, where the Jaguars repeatedly shot themselves in the foot. In the Week 10 blowout loss to the 49ers, he threw 2 interceptions and lost the fumble as part of a 4-turnover debacle. Jacksonville coaches had emphasized protecting the ball, but that didn't happen. Doug Peterson was heated in
a lot of these just look like terrible reads. It's not like, yeah, his pocket was folded on a lot of them bitches, but I think those are just bad reads. I want to know what he was looking at, because some of them was just terrible.
You can't do that. You just can't do that. Talking about the turnovers that his team gave up in the game.
See, that wasn't even his. That wasn't even his fault.
3 or 4 games that are not very good.
The mistake struck again and again like a recurring nightmare. Adding to the drama, Trevor battled injuries all season. Knee strains, ankle sprains, and a shoulder issue limited his effectiveness. Teammates and coaches acknowledged that he played hurt down the stretch, wearing a knee brace and extra padding, trying to push through the pain. But the injuries clearly impacted his performance, especially as the hits kept coming. That's when NFL analysts started to question if Trevor had hit his ceiling. As one NFL writer noted, the mistakes he's making now weren't there a year ago. The regression is real. Entering 2024, the stakes
I think it's more so of a fact of not having a decent team around you. Like when you don't have a solid offensive lineman, like when you think about a lot of the top QBs in the league, they have some shape or form of like a good offense, a decent offensive line, not even like the best. But I don't think this nigga Trevor Lawrence has ever like really been filled with like the good talent that his peers have had. Also, like you never hear about Jacksonville
never for him to
like
prove
a
he
top
belonged
team at
among
all.
the elite or risk becoming another cautionary tale. Unfortunately, the pressure mounted and Trevor pussyfooted around. He ended the year with alright stats, just 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and a passer rating barely above 85. But worse were the turnovers. Lawrence tied for the league lead with 7 fumbles, often at critical moments. Peterson's post-game pressers grew more frustrated as he repeated the same refrain: "We have to stop beating ourselves." But the Jaguars continue to do exactly that week after week. Division rivals like Houston's CJ Stroud and Tennessee's Will Levis routinely outperformed him, pushing Jacksonville further down the standings. In truth, part of the answer lay in Trevor's health, which went from bad to worse. 2024 proved to be a war for him physically. He battled a high ankle sprain early in the year, then a few weeks later had a concussion scare after a nasty hit while scrambling, and he had also re-aggravated the left shoulder injury that bothered him late in 2023. By mid-season, Trevor was practically held together by braces and tape. The injuries took away his trademark arm strength and made him hesitant in the pocket. I mean, who wouldn't be after taking that many shots? The front office eventually made a painful decision. After a week 13 concussion, they shut Trevor down for the year, placing him on injury reserve with 5 games to go.
And Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence placed on injured reserve. He's out for the rest of the season.
It was a stunningly premature end to a season that
so much, I'm not gonna lie, this sounds so much like Andrew Luck, bro. And that shit sucks because like you got prospects like Andrew Luck, then you got Peyton Manning. I don't think those have been like the biggest. These have been the biggest three names when it comes to prospects since I was born. And I was born in '99, and I've never heard like the only three names when it comes to like NFL prospects that I could think of when it comes to the best when it comes to quarterbacks. Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and then Trevor Lawrence. And this sounds so much like Andrew Luck's story. You go to a decent team, go to a decently bad team at that. You go to a bad team. The Colts weren't terrible, but they weren't. Their O-line was just, oh my God, their O-line was dog shit. Them niggas was trying to get him killed. They was trying to get him killed, bro. And that's essentially why he quit, which I don't blame him, bro. It gets to a point where it's like, bro, y'all not doing what needs to be done for me. I can't do for y'all what I need done for me. And that's exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like Trevor Lawrence is dealing with the Andrew Luck 2.0 type of thing. I hope he don't retire early, but shit. Hopefully his injuries don't stack up.
The Jags' record at the time was a dismissal 2-10, effectively sealing another lost year. For the second time in 4 seasons, Jacksonville was headed for the league's basement instead of the playoffs. The media narrative has shifted dramatically. Once the prince destined for greatness, Trevor was now being openly questioned. His mechanics regressed under pressure, old mistakes resurfaced, and his confidence seemed not to be there. Analysts debated whether Trevor was simply overrated or if Jacksonville's dysfunctions messed up his potential.
Everything about it is so disastrous. Trevor Lawrence has not developed.
By the end of 2024, Trevor Lawrence stood at a crossroads. His first 4 NFL years had been a whirlwind: early disasters, dazzling moments of redemption, frustrating regression, and mounting injuries. The league's harsh reality had tested him in ways he'd never experienced before. The Golden Boy image was tarnished, leaving a lingering question hanging over his head. Was Trevor Lawrence really who we thought he was, or did the NFL expose a hard truth nobody wanted to admit?
I think Trevor Lawrence is the most overrated quarterback in the NFL.
I don't think that Trevor Lawrence is per se. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he has the tools to be a top 10 quarterback, but I don't think that he could get over that hump of that top 4. That top 4 when it's Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Pat Mahomes. I don't think he could get over that. That's just one thing that I just don't think that he could get over, because them niggas are so fucking talented. Like, so fucking talented, it doesn't make sense. I think those are the motherfuckers he can't get over. Everybody else in the league, I feel like you get a decent enough team around him, and I feel like he could.
Well, Trevor Lawrence kind of came in as the generational talent, which, I mean, we're getting them every single season, it seems.
When Trevor entered the NFL, media outlets and analysts didn't hold back. They promised Jacksonville the next Peyton Manning, a generational talent, a quarterback destined for greatness. But what the Jaguars actually got was far more complicated. Now, he did give Jacksonville flashes of brilliance everyone expected, highlight reel throws, clutch performances, and moments that reminded everyone why he was the #1 overall pick. But those flashes quickly faded into confusion, inconsistency, and costly mistakes. For every miraculous throw, there were upsetting interceptions and questionable decisions. The reality was hard to ignore. Trevor wasn't living up to the towering expectations. Adding to the frustration, he quickly earned the dreaded injury-prone label. Minor injuries became an annual tradition,
I feel like that sucks.
Points nearly
that
every
sucks
year.
so bad simply because it sucks I hate that because for players who are injury-prone, it's like you never get to see these niggas in their prime. You'll never get to see them at their full extent, even though they could have been the best motherfuckers that you would have ever seen. That shit really
fucking sucks. As the season wore on, Trevor wore down, never fully healthy when the Jaguars needed him most. And then came the whispers about leadership. On the surface, his calm demeanor seemed ideal, composed, unshaken under pressure. But lately, analysts have begun questioning if that calmness translated to passivity in crunch time. Could Trevor truly inspire belief and rally a locker room when the stakes were highest? It all led to a controversial question that began to simmer. Was Trevor Lawrence set up to fail from the start? His rookie year under Urban Meyer was disastrous, a dysfunctional season from which he may have never fully recovered. Jacksonville's constant coaching changes, inconsistent offense support, and internal chaos made it feel like Trevor was climbing uphill from day one. Now, this is it. The 5-year, $275 million extension is inked, and the ink is drying. Duval poured the bank into him and shouted belief, but an extension isn't a ring, and backup plans are in place.
You give me $275 million, nigga. I'm gonna give you everything I got. Everything. And most of that shit is guaranteed. It's crazy because this nigga will never have to work another day in his life. And even if he doesn't play good, this nigga is set for fucking life. These contracts are so fucking crazy.
Jacksonville
bro.
even signed veteran Nick Mullins on a 2-year deal to hold the clipboard. They've got exit strategies if Trevor continues to BS around, and the timing couldn't be tougher. The AFC is absolutely loaded with elite quarterbacks. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Herbert, and CJ Stroud.
That shit definitely don't help that nigga's in the crazy conference.
But far from spectacular. 4 years in, there's no MVP considerations, no All-Pro honors, no significant playoff run since that electric comeback in 2022. And the narrative has already begun shifting from glory to saga. I'm sure Duval's patience is razor thin. Critics are ready with knives if this goes south. In other words, this is his crossroads. In a loaded conference, under a new coach, and with millions on the line, Trevor Lawrence's story is at its most intense chapter yet. The question is echoing in the locker room. Will this season finally answer the hype, or will it confirm that all we had was hype?
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like he was kind of set up to do him from the jump simply because the Jaguars are not a good fucking, they're not a good team. Their people out there really don't seem like they care. I never hear about them hitting good on really good draft picks. Like, it just doesn't seem like Jacksonville wants to win. It doesn't seem like they're doing what they can to get Trevor Lawrence to be where he could be. And that shit sucks. Because he didn't go to a Steelers where it's a good organization. You know, they had they lops, but they went to a good organization. He didn't get drafted to a fucking a Baltimore Ravens or a damn Kansas City Chiefs. Like, he was unlucky in the year that he got drafted. That honestly, because who went after him? Now, if he would have got drafted to the 49ers, I think we'd be having a whole different talk. If he got drafted second instead of first, I think we're having a whole different conversation now.